Yeah, it's so cool how they present the HUD in this game, and there's an actual reason for it too. I mentioned in the last episode how upgrading works for both Ratchet's health and his secondary weapons. It's not just that, there was a cinematic in this game called Excitement that not only explained those two features, or I guess the upgrade feature can count as one, it just applies to two separate things, but it also shows that Ratchet's HUD that we're seeing right now is displayed thanks to the armored helmet he's wearing. So there is an in-canon reason as to why we can toggle and see these things. It's pretty cool. Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to Ratchet & Clank Going Commando. Previously, we started our brand new adventure, not by our own volition. We essentially got kidnapped by a very unique individual, let's say. We're now working under his employment to secure a creature he, I guess, lost or got stolen from him. And that has taken our escapades to planet Oozla, our first official level of the game. I guess level 2 if you want to get technical, but I like to count this as the first official level of our adventure, since this one is much, much bigger than the ship we were just on last episode back on Eranos. So today we're gonna go through Oozla to see what we can find. We're gonna head through the right path first, as I just demonstrated. This is the optional path, but we'll get something out of it if we do progress through this portion long enough. It's better to explore all possible routes you can find, because you never know what you might be able to actually find. This game is very heavy on exploration, which is kind of par for the course for the whole Ratchet series, come to think of it. It is an action game, but it's also a platformer too, so it is worth your while going out of your way to see what you can scrounge up. Just gonna jump down here and take on these enemies. These, I believe, are swamp beasts. We can know what kind of enemies we encounter if we take a look at the pause screen for a moment. These are... oh! I was gonna say they were mutant swamp flies, I think. No, mutant fireflies. But our maximum nanotech can increase by upgrading our health, I guess, upgrade meter to its full. So it restarts again once you do hit the maximum on your upgrading meter. That's what I was gonna say. I think we go to this special. No. So, full disclosure, we're not supposed to see the special option yet. You can unlock this once you beat the game, but since I've already beat this game before, it's available to you after you do go through the game on your first playthrough. So I can't help with that. We're not gonna be able to interact with this much anyways for now. So don't worry about it. We'll save that for post game. The help option, that's where I want to go. Only gives you a help log to review helpful messages from Megacorp. Those messages we get at the bottom of the screen. Also, we can learn more about various moves, weapons, gadgets, even our own ship. We won't get to what that means for the ship, but keep in mind that's going to be kind of important on our adventure too. What I want to investigate is the Monsterpedia. The Megacorp Monsterpedia will tell you all about enemies that you've encountered so far. It displays where they come from, a little description of what they're about, as well as how many of that enemy you've killed, in addition to where their home planet is. General idea to keep in mind about the various enemies you'll come across in this game is that the tougher they are, the more nanobytes they'll give, which will add up to your upgrading meters. Swap beast, so I was kind of close with that. It's just something there for kicks, but I think it's really cool. That was not included at all in the last game. It's a nifty little addition that they did bring in for this game. And as far as I'm aware, going Commando might be the only one. Oh, that's not good. Wow. Second episode, I already did myself in. Oh, that's setting the bar real high, Blue. Good job. I didn't mean to dismount that swamp dragon yet. Because I forgot that second one can travel a little farther if you do ride on that one for a little longer. I just got overzealous and tried to proceed go through the route very quickly, but I didn't want to do that yet. Whoops, so that's my own fault. But as you saw, if you fall into something like this swamp 3 times, then you will not be able to recover. You can recover on the first 2 jumps, but if you jump into something like this a 3rd time, you're dead. I was gonna say before I interrupted myself, is that the Monsterpedia isn't a common feature in Ratchet Clank as far as I know. I think this might be the only game that does show such a feature. I might be wrong on this, because I'll admit, I have not played all the Ratchet Clank games. There's a couple of spin-offs I haven't got my hands on yet, most because I've avoided them due to like hearing mixed feedback about them over the years. So I could be wrong about the Monsterpedia being a one-time feature in this franchise. I guess one thing to point out is that whenever you die, crates do not come back, at least the crates that hold bolts, but ammo crates do come back after you die. So if you need to farm up on ammunition, I guess that's one exploit you can use. Quote-unquote exploit. I don't really see it be that much of a helpful thing, a helpful strat, because you saw how far back I got sent after I died. Speaking of getting sent far back, hi, thanks for bringing me back here. I didn't want to be back here though. I already been through this part. Let me proceed further, please. I want to get to over there where those crates are. Those brown crates, they're the ones that hold the bolts inside. Are you gonna keep going? Yes, you are. That's where you're gonna take me. I had a feeling. We'll jump up here. Get more crates. You're gonna come across a lot of bolts in this game. It's actually part of the course for these kinds of games in this series. Because let me tell ya, the things that you're gonna buy, they're gonna get really expensive after a bit. So be sure to collect as much as you can. I guess while retreading through all this, another little tidbit I can tell you all about is Ratchet's voice actor. It changed from the last game to the one that's still voicing Ratchet to this day as far as I know. Jump and press square to perform a more powerful wrench attack. Wrench attack. That is the Hyper Strike, I believe it's called. So this is the Hyper Strike. This is just regular 3-hit combo with your square buttons. You can delay in between strikes too if an enemy is getting a little close to you, but it's still not in range of your swings. You can also use the wrench, the Omni Wrench it's officially called. I believe it's the Omni Wrench 9000. I could be wrong on the model number. But this is a very good tool to use if you need to conserve ammunition. Generally, I try to use my secondary weapons as often as I can, since they can upgrade, so there is a benefit to continuously using those weapons in your arsenal. But sometimes you may not be able to have enough ammunition for all of your weapons. It's happened to me in the past, and when that happens, I've had to rely on my Omni Wrench for a while until I can pick up enough ammo to confidently use another one of my secondary weapons again. So if that happens to you, don't worry about it. Just try to be careful and keep your eye out for the blue ammo crates. Eventually you'll stock up on enough ammunition to be able to use one of your secondary weapons again for an extensive amount of time. Just don't go too happy with using your secondary weapons too much, because you can't burn through ammo fast if you're not paying attention.
Welcome, welcome. If everyone could take their seats, we can proceed with today's demonstration. First, I'll need a volunteer. Anyone? Excellent. Your name, sir?
Ratchet. Hey!
And there you have it, the Megacorp tractor beam in action. Let's give it up for our volunteer. Sir, how about taking advantage of our show special?
Clearly this guy's a few bolts short of a toolbox or something like that. Well, then again, bolts are kind of currency in this world, so he might be a few bolts short of a full bank, I guess. But this is what I was alluding to not too long ago. Stock up on bolts. Kill as much as you can. Not only you'll be able to upgrade your health and your weapons, but you might have to pay up every once in a while.
Thank you, sir. You won't be disappointed.
As long as you keep a plentiful amount of bolts on hand, which you will be able to do if you just, like I said, kill enough. Which is kind of bad to say, but it does help for this kind of game. Then you'll be able to maintain a good enough use, a plentiful use, for using your bolts constantly for these kind of paywalls we have to go through. They don't cost that much at first, and even if you progress through the game, you have to pay bolts to other characters. It never gets to be to the point where it can hinder you in the long run. You'll always have enough to afford one of these paywalls to progress to another part of the game, or in some cases to advance the story. This isn't really a spoilery thing that I'm addressing, because that kind of thing did happen a few times in the last game, so it's basically tradition to have to fork up some cash to other characters. But like I said, it's not that big of a deal. You'll always have enough on hand if you're able to kill enough things and break enough stuff as well to keep enough cash on hand. So now we can go over here to go to a new planet. We'll have to find new coordinates first. I also did gonna talk about this thing. This is the tractor beam, what we just bought, our first gadget of the game. Just go near one of those orange targets that we saw, and then press circle. You'll be able to keep a hold of that item, until you press circle again to disconnect the beam between yourself and the the item that you're dragging. You never get to use the gadget for any offensive purposes, just moving stuff. So this a weapons vendor, a Megacorp weapons vendor. We can also buy weapons here, or restock on the weapons that we currently have. The cool thing here is that they go to your maximum amount automatically, instead of having to scroll to the maximum amount like you did in the first game, so a little convenient there. Now we have enough to purchase this new weapon, the chopper. We can throw deadly discs at our enemies. And for an early game weapon, this thing is pretty handy, not gonna lie. What you do here, it kind of offers like the tractor beam, but obviously it's a weapon, so it's gonna kill stuff. Speaking of killing, you can go to crouch with R1 and then throw your wrench. This is known as the Comet Strike feature. The cool thing about this Comet Strike is that you can walk away after you throw your wrench. So you can do that and move out of the way of any enemy fire if they happen to retaliate. You couldn't do that in the last game, so it's a neat little addition that they added in. It may not matter much, but believe me, it will come in handy if you need to rely on your Omni wrench for a bit. when you've depleted your other weapons of their ammunition. And it's also useful to keep foes at a distance, or to strike from a distance. So I was gonna say earlier, before I got interrupted constantly, again, it is the start of the game, so I kinda have to explain a few things, is that Ratchet has a new VA. In the last game, the actor that was... well, that guy's not being saved anytime soon. The actor that played Ratchet in the first game was known as Mike Kelly. He did get some work after the first game released, but nothing that I was familiar with. However, this game has Ratchet's current VA that, as far as I know, still plays the character to this day. You likely know about it by now. It's James Arnold Taylor, who also voices Ben Kenobi in various Star... I didn't shoot that guy, I swear. I swear, those monsters did it for... did that guy in, not me. I'm not a killer. Don't come after me. I'm just a Megacorp employee doing what his boss tells him to do. Granted, I'm a new employee, but still. He employed me for a certain set of skills, because he has a specific set of needs that needs to be fulfilled. I'm not promising I'll find anyone, or I'll kill them, but I'm not making any promises, like I said. Anyways, James Arnold Taylor voices Ratchet now, who you likely know him for Ben Kenobi in some other Star Wars media, like I think the Clone Wars for instance. But you likely know him most as Titus from Final Fantasy X. And I'm sure that laugh is playing in your head right now. I don't even have to show it. Just mentioning the word Titus, and if you're familiar with video games, you're thinking about that laugh right now, so you're welcome. Anyways, we've encountered a new enemy. Not the Swampies. You had your time, get out of here. And I'll kill your friend too, just because I feel like it. Oh, yeah, another friend. Well, there. You got a bomb as well. I shouldn't be doing that, but the bomb is obviously a lot better to use for those more sturdier enemies. As well as for crowd control, which reminds me, I haven't used the chopper at all. So these little hopping guys, I think they're called the mutant swamp dwellers, something like that. Why not guess? I'll just call it a Monsterpedia. I won't do this that often. Muck dweller, I was kinda close. I won't go to the Monsterpedia that often, I do have my notes prepared after all. But it's always useful to refer to that feature if you're ever so curious about what you're up against. Break this. And just keep going on these lily pads. And we can see there's another one of these employees up there. But if we go onto that platform, yeah, he's dead too. I used to think at first, when I was a kid for some reason, that was the same guy that was getting killed over and over again. Because I'm pretty sure I went through this route first, and then I met up with the guy that had the tractor beat, and I thought, wait a minute, didn't you die like several times before? I wasn't a bright kid, just so you know. Anyways, this is our first boss of the game, the Mother Beast. Just keep your distance and use the Lancer. It's very easy to kill. And we got more ammunition. We got more nanotech by killing that thing. A strange thing about that monster, again, going back to the Monsterpedia, if I'm right... yeah, Swamp Monster, but it's also known as a Mother Beast. It counts as 3 enemies killed, even though we only fought 1. That's because this game, for some reason, it counts those 3 parts, the tentacles and the eye of the swamp monster, as 3 separate parts, not as one being. I don't know why it's like that, but it's like that. Hey, look at that! Speaking of things to look at, we upgraded our Lancer. It is now the Heavy Lancer. Also triple in ammo capacity as well. It can fire faster and deal out more damage. It's gonna be useful early game, but don't roll out it throughout the entire game. You will find better weapons at some point. But for now, is gonna be a very good use, as the last one wasn't already serving us well to begin with. Speaking of things to get, another new thing! We now have the Dynamo! It activates machinery. Press circle to use the gadget to zap that activator. You can only use it near those activators and whenever one such object is being targeted. So if we do that, then it'll activate a hologram of whatever object that we can use to interact with the environment. I know when I was looking up beta footage of this game, activating the Dynamo would make solid objects move. I'm not sure why they changed those to holograms later on. I guess it would look more futuristic. And it does. These holograms are pretty nifty looking. But that was a little thing that I learned about when I was doing my research. It's kinda neat. So now we're going through this abandoned ball of sorts. But I want to bring up something a little dark that we already seen. We saw the one guy that was alive. Oh yes, there's a camera. Tap on one. That's your first person camera, in case you forgot. Anyways, that one guy that we saw when we got the tractor beam, he's the only one that's alive now from this establishment. I'm not sure if this is confirmed canon or not, but it's likely that guy went insane after seeing all of his other buddies get killed. Those last guys that we came across that died left and right on our way over to this mall, I'm pretty sure he didn't see them die either, but I'm very, very positive he went long insane, or insane long before then. Since he was addressing a crowd, yet we were the only ones that was actually his audience. It's a little dark undertone-y story beat, I suppose, that I want to bring attention to. There's not much of this level left. We get to see more of the Dynamo in use. Holograms will stay in place for a few seconds, but they will fade away eventually. You'll see them blink in and out of existence, which will be like your timer as to how long a Dynamo activated object has left in its duration. And there's this thing we gotta go through. This will actually bring a good time for me to talk about strafing. Hold L2 or R2 to strafe to go side to side like this. If you jump while going left or right during strafing, you can do side flips. And if you keep holding the L2 or R2 button while going back, you can do backflips too. I intentionally failed this section because I didn't talk about strafing or jumping till now actually. Just hit X for jump, hit X to double jump, very basic. But strafing is very, very, very useful. I'll get to more of that momentarily.
Ratchet, come in. Are you there?
Copy, Mr. Fizzwidget.
Listen, I have some new information on our experiment's wherewithal.
The thief was indemnified at Megacorp's Mactar Resort.
Also, the thugs have towed a moon-sized jamming array into Mactar Resort orbit.
Should I take it out?
Affirmulous! It's disconfabulating our annual Galactic Gladiators broadcast. See for yourself.
Ask yourself, are you man enough, hero enough, insane enough to step into the ring with two of the fiercest warriors in the galaxy? If you answered yes, you're a big, fat liar. But that's okay, because Megacorp is bringing Galactic Gladiators into your home for a special Mega View event. First, it's survival of the fittest in our bio competition. Be there as Chainblade unleashes his fury on our Gladiator guest contestants. Chainblade has gone undefeated in 500 straight matches, but if the bio division doesn't do it for you, our robotics division will. Taste the adrenaline as contestants face off against our four-armed bandit, the B2 Brawler. Brawler. No living creature is a match for this machine. Watch 6 tons of Carbonox alloy hunt for its prey. There's no consolation prize, cause this bad boy's programmed to show no mercy. So what are you waiting for? Call now to bring Chainblade and the V2 Brawler into your living room. But put away the fine china. The Galactic Gladiators, only on Megaview. Call your provider now.
Chainblade, huh? I've got the coordinates. Ratchet out.
And now we have coordinates to go to the Mactar Resort in the Mactar Nebula. Did they put the words Mactar in front of that? In front of that setting enough? I hope they did. Anyways, strafing. Using this is super helpful. This will help dodge enemy fire and make flipping for dodges so much easier. In the last game, you could perform side flips and back flips. I'm not having a camera here. You could perform side flips and back flips normally in the first game too. But in order to do that, you had to stay in place and then flick the control stick in any of those 3 directions, plus hitting X at the same time. Not really that useful since you can only activate it while stationary. So doing this while in motion not only keeps the pacing of the gameplay up, but it's so helpful in trying to dodge enemy fire like I already said. Trust me, you're gonna see how useful it is later on. As a matter of fact, it was so handy that I know in future games they included a lock strafe mode, which means all you have to do is move around with the control stick, but if you went left or right, Ratchet was strafed automatically if you go in either one of those directions. It might be a little jarred to use at first, but you'll adapt really quickly to it. They knew just how much of a difference strafing could make. Well, I think that's all we could do for now, basically because that is all we could do for now. We completed all the missions here on Oozla. But there is one more thing we can pick up. I just hope I'm heading the right direction, that I can find whatever it is I'm looking for. Make that 2 more things. We can use our Lancer to shoot out these pterodactyls, believe it or not. There's a reason for this, believe me. I usually wait till later that I could do this, but you can't do it with the Lancer. We got our first skill point of the game. There are at least 30 of these that are included in this game. You don't have to go out of your way to find them all. They're all like, well, to put it in modern standards, they're kind of like Xbox achievements. You don't have to go out of your way for them. They're just little challenges that you can pull off if you're feeling skillful enough or have enough faith in your skill to pull off these optional objectives. I guess another way to talk about them. Ah, shoot, you're all over there. I went the wrong route. I was gonna say, another way to put them if you're a PlayStation user is that the skill points are kind of like trophies, because some of them in the PS3 version of this game, as a matter of fact, in the PS3 version of all of the first 3 games, do act as trophies in terms of skill points. Not all of them, but some of them do. So if you're going achievement hunting, keep that in mind. You'll be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone that way, if you can pull off some of those little challenges. So we're going back the route where we were on our way to get the tractor beam. This swamp dragon will appear after you complete all the other missions. I'm not sure why you have to wait till the end of your time in Oozla to do this, but if you can find this guy and hitch a ride on him, he'll take you to a very remote location where we can see our second platinum bolt of the game lies. This was one of the platinum bolts that I know I did not know about for years. It was very, very well hidden. Because who would think to search this place again after you completed all the missions? That's a very sneaky one that they had. So platinum bolts, these are things that you can collect if your heart desires. There is a use for them later on, a bigger use than the gold bolts for the first game, in my opinion, since their point of usage, the platinum bolts at least, does come up way, way faster than the use for the gold bolts do, but they will be around for a while. Keep those in mind too, though. You never know, it might actually help you out in the long run. Again, they're optional, but they can be pretty handy when the time to put them to use actually comes around. And now, we've completed our time in Oozla. There's nothing left for us to do. So next time, we're gonna board our ship and head off for the Mactar Nebula, the next destination in our adventure. Until we meet again, farewell for now.